to the PEL Phase 3, week number 4. We are over the halfway point and we are going to the jungle.
Get in there, aren't we? Slowly but surely. These
tables are hotting up, aren't they? I think you can tell the seriousness of the situation.
Ooh.
We're starting to see some very interesting tables starting to set up. Obviously, the analyst guys just hit on it. It's all about the top 6, but it's not just being in the top 6 because there is points that are carried over from Phase 2 as well. So we've got to sort of don't worry, they're going to be doing calculations
it's basically
for you.
been up.
You guys I know you're watching on Twitch. You have that table on your left-hand side that tells you exactly the live points and what they are, the points of the day, which is great. But that doesn't tell you the whole story because there are points that will be carrying over from Phase 2. A certain percentage of their points that they earn throughout Phase 2.
It's basically been as high up as humanly possible, not only for the points that do get carried over to PGC, but for the money as well. You know, I mean, everybody wants to make first place, and for certain teams like F47, for example, who are new to this and who won't have the crossover as such, for them, the road to get to that 2 million competition is to be number 1. Okay, there's a bit of a gap forming here, just under 100 points with TSM out there in 375. But for example, like, you know, jumping G2, they're beating them. Okay, they're drawn on points, but it then comes down to kills. They're in the lead by 9 points, moving up to 5th place for a team that's here for its first phase out of the contenders side of things is phenomenal. Like, you can't really write that. The amount of teams we've seen come up, and no disrespect, but I have to point it out. 7 example, Unity, last phase. For these teams that do come up, we have seen poor performances, and they are outshining everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could look towards the changes that G2 made and think it's a ballsy play coming into Phase 3.
But the thing is, it looked amazing week 1, but they just haven't seemed to have been able to replicate what's happened. I would have thought by last week would have been, we now know the problems.
I think the problem was that they used to be such a strong edge team, and now there's a lot more teams that do it, edge, and it's sort of, it's almost like the Team Liquid style, right? Team Liquid were, you know, they were all centered, they'd go there 4 minutes, the people start copying their style, and you know, I'm not saying G2's got a style that's being copied, but I'm just saying that the positions and everything they've been working for are kind of being countered by somebody else being there, by somebody else that said, looked at it and gone, all right, that kind of works, let's do that. And, well, I mean, also, you could also look at, well, actually, I'm trying to think, have they ever performed on Sanhok yet?
Have we seen G2, though, slip at the last? You know what I mean? It just feels like I'm watching, and again, anything can change and anything can happen. We've still got 2 weeks and then 2 days of this one to go, but still, they are slipping ever so slightly and ever so slowly. And this has been replicated from Phase 1, from Phase 2, where you just see that really good run and then things just begin to drop off. I'm really hoping that this isn't the case.
The things that drop off, Team TSM on your screens there, things that drop off. And I just said to Gustav at the start of today, I said, it's looking good, it's nice at the top of the table there. You had about a 30-point cushion, but you've had a bigger cushion before. Don't let it slip. He said, I know, Lee. I know. This is not happening again.
It's insane to me, and this is what I love most about PUBG. When we think back to Phase number 1, for example, G2 not qualifying for Phase 6.
With Winstrike's amazing comeback.
1 point, and that came down to one of the players on G2 could have given himself up to the blue. Instead, he runs out and Winstrike kill him. That puts the nail in the coffin. Had he killed himself, they would have been there. Same goes for, I believe, Kickoff Cup. 1 point, I think it was. They didn't make it to the finals. Okay, they made it to G. You know, they've been getting better and going forward. But like, with how many times we kind of see these one individual things, and then TSM, for example, on that final day where the Knights just made a blinding play. It always comes down to these little minuscule maneuvers that can cost teams everything.
Yeah, it's amazing that after so many games it does go down to 1 point. It's really crazy because obviously, you know, we can always point at that one situation, but there's many situations over the course of the games. But
it's not over till it's over.
It all bubbles and boils towards the end of the final weeks. As you can see, it is a pretty northern playing path. It's going to cause just a few problems for the south, but Sanhok's small enough that most people could drop. Oh no, the Vector's loaded and red. Oh, you going, son? You're not going anywhere there, Yannis. And we just talk about G2's problems. They are compounded. They have dropped in DA's territory. I'm not too sure why.
We saw this last week, and it was Chris with the Saiga who was doing the opening frags and the initial damage.
What?
This time they're on the receiving side of it. NELLOZ can be left to bleed out. None of the teams have to chase him, although they will want to commit it just for the simple fact of securing the points.
This is DA committing, right? Because DA normally in Paradise Resort, right? This is DA that have basically come further south and just said, out you go, G2. And look at that. They're not going to move. That's the compounds they've got. That's the loot they've got. They're not going to go anywhere from there.
Whoever thought in a game of Sanhok Paradise would be completely open.
I know. But that's it. I think it's because DA normally are in there, right? I'm not losing my marbles. I know I've had a week off, but I don't think I'm going completely doolally.
Oh, G2.
They got nothing.
Oh,
absolutely
no.
nothing. I'm interested to see if they've got any loot at all.
This is like
they might be like pistols or something like that. Yeah.
Dying on drop. That's a big feels bad, and the fact that everyone has to come their way, they are not secure whatsoever. They're going to have limited resources to play with. They're a two-man band, and fair enough, you've got two of the big hitters together, Chris and Braexco, but still, when all of the teams are going to be... No. When all the teams are just surrounding you and you are literally... Because they can't go loot anywhere else, right? That's the dangerous thing. There's nowhere else to go. They are landlocked in. I'm already seeing Fuzz staring uphill, so he clearly has some kind of information that the shots were coming from there, and they'll be able to read that and play off the back of it, but they can't go loot, so they either get aggressive now with what they've got and maybe sneak a player or two off of DA and then take their gear, or they're dead.
Well, Fuzz is risking it and going to the next compound along, which is close to TL.
Braexco's gone back. Okay, so he's geared. Look at that. There we go. Pan. Level 2 helmet. Don't know about the chest, but certainly an M4. So he can do something here, but is instantly spotted through the air. Mitraleius has evacuated the scenario. So this
5 first aids, so he's got himself some decent equipment. But the danger of this is, as you can see just with the pass there, you can shoot underneath these buildings sometimes, so if you're not safe when you're inside it.
I'm okay with this. Crack on and try and take one back, try and get a bit of a response.
I'm somewhat surprised. DA are basically backing off and going to the Crossroads compound almost. They just keep backing away from this hillside, so they've basically given G2 this compound.
You're surprised DA is going to a compound?
Well, I'm more surprised that they don't just keep G2 out of it, but yeah, I'm not surprised they're backing away to a compound. Na'Vi, okay, this is a different approach from Na'Vi. So Na'Vi have been caught out, and this may be adjustments from Na'Vi, and they've absolutely needed to make adjustments on Sanhok because they have been dreadful on it. N47 have bodied them left, right, and center on the edge of Quarry. This time they've chosen to go around the south side of Quarry, along with ENCE. And N47, they've got their standard spot. They're in the exact same spot. But ordinarily, Na'Vi would get pinched from the left. But this time they've chose, okay, this has just not worked for us. And adjustments have been made. So I'm interested to see if it benefits them. It does mean that the likes of ENCE and Reciprocity will come in their backs. In the north, we saw Raise Your Edge picking up a win last week on this map. That was the northern turn that worked out for them. TSM happy to get themselves across. They've actually gone into boot camp.
All quite on the
western front
now. I was going to say western front, but it's more on the eastern side.
Yeah.
We're going to roll with it. Yep, that's smoking. So someone's tanked that one up, and you can see Bjorn is...
Don't. That was close to a knock.
That'd have been funny. Yeah, let's change things. Yeah,
you can't drive.
You carry on doing what you're doing.
Bjorn's taking the wheel.
Top of the hillside, Raise Your Edge are here. There'll be no information passed between these two teams. Maybe they get an eye line onto DA soon, just popping between the buildings. G2 are back on their home territory, but they'll only have scraps to play with. They probably had about 3 compounds worth of gear. Crank comes in, and it's gifted to ENCE.
It's an Orm. I was about to say it's an Orm. We see so many Orm drops on Sanhok.
Not only is it an Ormly, it's an Orm with a ghillie.
Yeah.
And he has a silencer on that bad boy.
A Finnish Wookiee.
Oof, that's a big boy gun. Silent Storm with a Wookiee suit on this.
I didn't see what scope he had though. And
3 times on the top. I believe it was a 3 times, yeah.
It didn't look big, so. But 3 times is fine on Sanhok, I guess. You don't need.
If you're ubah, you just need an hindsight. It's fine. I can't believe it was hindsight. There's multiple times I've actually been in this POV and he's just whipped the scope off and just gone for it. 7. They're actually set up here. It's not quite the bridge camp, but they may be able to pick up a few teams should they turn up towards them on the right. They can hit the left-hand side and go on the ditch.
Oh, and look at this. Sadovnik's on the other hill. Doesn't actually manage to get anyone from that. Surprising. Sadovnik surely going to get something from McIndark here. McIndark basically pinned. So is he going to get any support? The rest of the team goes through. Hamster, McIndark does go down to Sadovnik, so not too surprised. So nice little bridge camp set up there. Bjorn will also go down. Meanwhile, Raise Your Edge have tried to push into DA and instantly paid the price. Both Lynxy and SIMSY tucked in at a tree. Menox goes down as well, and wow.
Oh, Lord.
Cold him into the last man standing. Could be the first team down, and it will.
God. So the bigger question is, did DA just sit here and wait? Did they not show?
No, this is their yeah, I mean,
that's what I mean. Did they not literally show any signs of life until it was too late for Raise Your Edge?
See, the thing is, Rich, you don't need much loot when people bring it to you.
I suppose there is that, and that's kind of what's going on with the frag grenades at the moment. If you can't find any on the map next time you kill a team, well, you're laughing if they've got them, because then you're just going to be geared up to the 9s.
That's 6 kills and counting for DA, by the way. You know, we mock and laugh, and
look,
yeah, it's a tactic that works.
I've
it's as simple as that.
Time and time again, that team has capabilities and individual skill. Just sometimes
they're just passive.
They just play too passive,
Look
and sometimes it goes against them.
Ooh. See, if Team Liquid knew that there was only 2 G2 members left, they would have absolutely pushed that. What is going on down south? Knights, NIP, Reciprocity, all on top of one another. You can see Wanted's already gone down in the kill feed, caught out in a rock on the hillside. All trying to move up to the north. Figure out what is going on there. Not happening. N47 still happy on the edge of quarry. Na'Vi, by the way, are rotating back through the quarry and going again around their side. So they've chosen, because they knew that N47 were there. They're simply thinking, if we push north, we have to go through a team. It's as simple as that, and that's just not going to work out. Reciprocity trying to play whack-a-mole here. Scoom has actually got a really good flank around the side. He's continuing to flank around. NIP have backed away from this one, proving to go for position. They've got the crossroads compound that Fuzzface has abandoned as Shiv gets caught out. And that may well stop the rot. He should be able to get revived. Dude, he is coming right behind him. Let's have a look. 6 times scope. Headshot found.
Straight below the houses, so that puts Shiv out of place rather unfortunately. He might be in a position to be revived, but will have to commit maybe a little bit of utility, or at the very least pull one of his teammates out of position. So they will hit the revive, and that gives maybe time for the Knights to then move on, because that circle will be slowly moving. Thankfully for them, there is a bit of an open compound, but down in front of that there will be NIPs. They still have to be careful onwards.
Gustav's looting boot camp. TSM is so spread. They've got so much area. Gustav's just like picking up the remains of what Team Liquid have left.
Only problem being is that should, in theory, unless it kind of hard shifts, you'll avoid the water, right, for next phase, because it's phase 3, so...
It'll pull right, but Iroh's already there at the crossroads, right? So
I suppose.
He's just happy. He's just carrying on looting. Maybe actually, tell a lie. He's not looting. He's watching boot camp. He's covering, making sure nobody comes in behind them, isn't he?
That's a tag. At least from his teammate on the right-hand side. Desperado's pretty good area for the time being. No one really around them. Elevated. Everyone have to fight them kind of an uphill battle, so to speak. Team of 4 boys. They're all happy for now. G2 still not taking any fights, and understandably so. CrowCrowd, they're in a 2-2 split, but again, they're more towards the white compared to anybody else. GamerLegion, just chilling. Hamster up in boot camp. Reciprocity, they're getting themselves back together and hitting the res. They will come in and find somewhere, but Na'Vi are going to be lurking ever so slightly in the distance, so they will have to be careful on the approach. M47 they've just set up shop hard style. They are lingering all the way against Quarry.
It's where they live. It's basically their home. And it's impressive. It's impressive to the point that Na'Vi have basically chose to go back to the position they started in. They were in this spot originally, rotated around the back of Quarry, and went up, and then went, M47 are there, we can't go around them, we can't go through them. They've bodied us so many times. Rotate worked out for them, though, with the circle pulling away. Now, DA are going to move. They are on the move already, and they're going to be looking towards these shacks. Now, the question is, are they going to push on this compound that Team Liquid are in? Because that's one of their favorable positions they're looking towards right now. G2 have a problem on their hands. They're going to be sharing, I feel, the split of that road with another team shortly, because I don't think they're going to be able to keep them at bay. TSM, we talked about where Iroh was. You can see now the crossroads position. Everybody from TSM will just consolidate to that. The Knights are going to be taking the hillside behind FaZe and NIB, and here are G2. Looks like Desperados or DA are going to be their first visitors.
DA are actually going to be uphill of G2, so if G2 time this right,
they're going straight to Team Liquid.
I mean, they could third party from that hillside if they want, but as you mentioned, they are just funneling their way towards Team Liquid, who are going to be on top of these houses, and for them, because of this position that they're in, their backs might be covered for at least for a good amount of time. No one will be rushing out of position in that scenario.
I'm surprised Team Liquid didn't allow them to get closer there and confirm some kills.
They might just want to keep them away.
Yeah.
You know, just not bother taking, like...
Let somebody else take the fight for now.
Yeah, and I mean, they've had a few difficult scenarios and difficult runs here. They might just want to try and keep 4 alive to the final circle, which, to be fair, we've seen quite a few times from them on Sanhok, right?
Oh, ENCE. They're well aware that N47 are going to be somewhere around here, but they're running straight across into them like headless chickens across the road, and this may well be just clean-up duty. SKUIJKE's position is known. Rustanmar does get one down. Confirms Page. TRYFFELI's nade comes in and gets Vasku down as well, and suddenly the rot goes against them. Rustanmar's... Oh, his footsteps heard. Rustanmar might... The smoke will prevent him, but BeautflDeath says goodbye.
M24 from distance.
Just out of nowhere.
From across the pond. Just
across the quarry.
Just bangs him dead to rights. Does him a favour. Poor ENCE.
CrowCrowd are actually moving back on that as well. They're coming into the backside of N47. They saw the kill feed. Everybody would have seen it. And they realised that everybody knows that compound is where they're usually going to be in and around. And they're moving for it. Team Liquid, they're the shots you can hear, actually pushing on to D8.
Pirates hit the deck. It looked like they've gone to the engagement. Back to back, though. Mitraleius and ABeautflDeath. Ibby and SIMSY, they do find them. They're now trying to hunt down the final play. It's Mert behind a rock.
Ibby knows him. Knows exactly where he is. And DA, well, they had a great start, taking 2 G2 and all of Raise Your Edge out with 6 kills. May well be the final play they make of this game. Mitraleius is picked off. Evil goes down. This is the CrowCrowd. We were talking about them pushing in M47. They read this well, knowing the M47 were in trouble. And look at that. You can see Aduzi and BeautflDeath. The shots across the quarry and Team Liquid's compound that G2, by the way, were in originally. Here's looking golden.
Same run as what ENCE tried to do, but this time they do it better. They use the smokes. They commit them towards the buildings, which is good. It denies line of sight for now, but Vasku has taken a deeper position, more towards the back, so at least gets the cross and now knows that Mies is there. Can feed this information back to T-Bone. They are only working with 2 players, so they have to make sure that every single communication between the roster is absolute pinpoint. Every bullet needs to count here. 2 versus 1 scenario. T-Bone doesn't even have the time to heal, let alone strike. Vasku now will come for the peak. Gets 1, tries to find the second, has to hit the building. He is damaged, the stim's on, but there's not much left in the tank.
Well, Reciprocity are moving on to the backside of Na'Vi as well, just off to the east of this fight that's happened on here. Vasku almost took down all the CrowCrowd lined up for him there, but doesn't work out. Will toss the molly out and have to reposition once again. Back out the window, vaults out, tries to back away from the houses as you see the kill feed start to light up. There's
He's going to go around the front of them.
He's going for the rope.
They won't know this. That's a full 360 bit, essentially behind them. They'll be going uphill. Oh, Vasku, if you pull this.
He's just backing away. He's backing away.
That'd have been sick if he'd managed to land that one. Gaxi and MBS. The Knights trying to make a move here. Go for a bit of a rotation, and they get caught off guard. mxey as well. Okay, well, they're taking 2 different fights. Fair play to NIP. If you want to attack FaZe as well, then crack on, boys. They are doing. They'll do some damage, which is pretty good of VAD because he's keeping Overwatch further and deeper into the circle. That knock will slow FaZe down. They were trying to get involved in this fight, maybe get a third party. By doing so, it's give them a little bit of time. NIP has to react fast here because FaZe is lingering.
G2 have moved to try and get involved with this CrowCrowd fight. What on earth? Chris is down there with them. Will engage, gets Tiikzu down. Meanwhile, TSM and Desperados on the northern side of the hills engaging with one another. And this is just how Sanhok tends to be. It will all go down. Oh no, Vasco was found in the quarry. Senya will deal with him. 13th place for them. Mert's still alive. Of course he is. Sees TomiL, gets the knock. Oh no, Desperados, you're going to lose one in the background, but Ultra will flush him out in time to be able to get the revive in. Team Liquid engaging on TSM. TSM making a big push, by the way. They're charging onto the back of Desperados. Braexco running towards that hillside.
He's been called. Someone saw him uphill, which gives the time for Teme to play with, but the pre-fire has done enough damage to allow him to get into a better position. He's already got a mullet ready to rock and roll, which might flush him out into the open, or at least do the continuation of the damage. He just keeps on going with ease, and that's what he wanted. That gives the connection. Now he can get the heal off and continue his way uphill. NOOKIE is cycling the grenades. Very little health here. If that comes close, it's going to kill him.
He had the nade in hand, he was unhanding it, so that may well finish him off. Yes, it does. It rolls down and takes him out himself. The battle in the north, by the way, is pretty vital, TSM and Desperados, because that is potentially a big battle for position now, because that is the full northern circle. Whoever comes out on top of that will find themselves in the top 3. The question is, who will it be? FaZe across to the side, they're engaging on reciprocity. ubah finding more kills. Man, this guy is racking them up today. And a good start, and you can see in the kill feed, TSM and Desperados have engaged. Desperados losing another, so they're down to 2 now, as GamerLegion will get fined. That was Hamster, the last man standing, caught out by NOOKIE.
Big loss for reciprocity. Losing ship like that takes away the marksman with the K9, who might be able to find a pick here or there amongst the bushes and trees. Fuzzface with the old 1-2, thank you. Gets the job done. mxey and Fuzzface picking up 2 players. Udir will finish off the 3rd, at least gets the bleed out kill confirmation. NIP, if they actually, I think they're gone, aren't they? Excuse me, they're completely gone. Desperados have funneled away from the fight. TSM have kept 4 alive, which is great news for them. And now this is leading up to a 2 versus 2. CrowCrowd and Desperados. Can you continue on in this game? I think NOOKIE might be in trouble if he doesn't check this rock. He's been spotted. Job done. Ultra goes down. That's a good headshot. TomiL will be ever so slightly damaged. He does have a stim on at least. They can follow this up with the 1-2. They will be able to get the kill.
Oh, a shot from behind.
TSM, though, in the back lines, have got other ideas. They want to take TomiL down, and that'll be the Desperados. Probably gone. Yeah,
TomiL's got nowhere to go with that one. CrowCrowd just going to disengage. They realised he was already being set upon. Only got the bandages, no first aids. They've been involved in a long, grueling battle. The circle goes back to Team Liquid's compound. TSM are going to hold the hills, and now FaZe may make a sweep around the north here in towards TSM. They've been slowly taking shots on them. Na'Vi are taking shots here. Reciprocity are going to move around towards Na'Vi. TomiL does get found, so that is Desperados gone in 9th place. 7 will follow straight after in 8th, and now Na'Vi are the ones to be engaged upon as Monkey puts Pate to Senya, and that little grinning face slides into play.
It's empty.
A little too aggressive.
I think it was 2 different angles that they got caught off guard. I said earlier on, playing these rooftops, they were okay to stick where they were for the time being, but then we get later into the game and it causes problems. The Vector, although we're not on the new patch, still up close and personal in this environment is an absolute wonderful weapon because of the rate of fire. You can just empty the entire clip into a player, and it's like a laser beam. 3 members of Rec moving down on Na'Vi.
They've got no vision here, have they?
No,
they have to peek they have to open peek it to see that they're there. Yeah,
Spotted.
And that's the danger. It was actually miikaz that took him down, which immediately alerts Reciprocity. There's somebody else to the left-hand side, and they start flanking for that position. Revive comes in for Team Liquid. They're back on their feet, and Bestalosh is just going to or basically go for the blow, die to the blow. Just going to keep himself alive for as long as possible and deny any points that he can. Nowhere to run on this one. Reciprocity sat waiting. Meanwhile, Team Liquid looking to take shots on them. They are. James will catch our Monkey. miikaz will steal the kill away. It's 5 and counting for CrowCrowd. FaZe making a push in the north, along with TSM. Potential for a 3-way 4v4 here.
The thing is, what BestOLOG is doing right now, Warney's playing the blue, he's not giving up any points, but more importantly, he's been a focus. He's been a nuisance. Being here for so long has caused so many problems. It's left reciprocity to focus on him. They've lost a player while doing so.
They're gone.
Then he basically peeks out, takes down one player, that's CrowCrowd gone. So him being there essentially caused the death of two teams back to back.
And now we do have this three-way battle between 4-man teams. mxey is down by Ibby, but should be able to get back on his feet. If Fuzz, though, is getting caught out by James. Team Liquid so aggressive, standing on these roofs. Got such an open position. FaZe are getting picked apart by every angle from Team Liquid. ubah suddenly the last man standing. TSM stealing away the kills, actually, from them. So Fuzz finished off, and they have to now duck down with TSM coming up low.
Get themselves in and hit the deck for now.
This could be what I mean.
FaZe gone.
This is potentially another 12+ kill game for Team Liquid here.
And we saw the earlier game.
Oh, but it goes
game
to
number
TSM.
1 was TSM with the high point game as well. So these are, even when you look towards FaZe Clan, this top 3, that's 3 big heavy hitters that are doing well. 4 versus 4 scenario. TSM do hold the circle, and more importantly, are slightly deeper in it. It's not even against the edge. They're on the 50-yard line here. They can hold themselves straight in a line, have all the angles.
Iro's flank could be big out there. Trying to use that rock.
Jempty goes. He's going to be slightly late and damaged up from the blue. He does have the SLR, so if he can find a pick on the left-hand side.
Rory out to the left has a pretty clean angle. Actually, they've used the brow of the hill, so it's going to be Iro that's going to be the first man under pressure.
If that nade catches. Oh, that's...
He was like, I don't know how I'm alive still, but I am. It's all good. This is good.
It's okay, boys. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
I saw his big head peeking over the rock.
I suppose the one that now gives a response in the fact that you can watch where these grenades come from.
Rory.
When you do throw them out, you're essentially giving away your position. Ira, first one to fall. Smokes will go down. They'll make some kind of push here. He's completely out, so the res is undeniable, but Michael will strike from the side. Samty goes up.
He's charging.
He should be able to see him through the bush. Hammer comes down. They do get the kill.
Jempty's gone.
Gustav?
Jempty's absolutely piled onto Rory. TSM have just fell. Samty now the last man standing as well. I think it's a one-on-one. It is Gustav versus Samty. One-on-one, and suddenly these two teams clash, and it absolutely explodes.
Burn
Molly
him.
goes out.
Burn
That's
him.
right onto a sub B.
Burn him.
Oh, Molly finish from Gustav for TSM to pick themselves up a win. And off the back of their, I think it was 3rd place, wasn't it, on the Miramar earlier on. The points are absolutely vital. Can't see how many kills it was, actually. I think it was around 10 plus for TSM there. Team Liquid themselves had around 10 kills as well, but a Molly finish.
So Liquid were 4th coming into this. FaZe were 2nd, and TSM were top. Like, they're just building a brick wall between them and the teams that are below, what, top 6?
And TSM need it. I mean, clearly the changes, we saw the development of the changes. We saw the Iro being picked up. But you can't discount Dids being picked up in the background. The coach absolutely has paid dividends for this team, because they were a team that was somewhat lacking consistency, but it has worked out for them. Let's get over to Parla. He's down with TSM.
Thanks very much, Lee. TSM, congratulations, guys. After last week securing 1st place, you've got a chicken dinner here on day 1 of week 4 as well. You must be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. We had our first game on Miramar today was decent as well, and then we had kind of a sloppy game. I think we got 3 or 4 points out, and now we win, so already a good day.
Gustav, I liked the ingenuity there of using the molly at the very end. Was that inspired in the moment? Did anyone call it out to you?
You know, I was just checking about any utility, and I was like, okay, I have no vest. I'm not going to foot push this guy, because it's so hard to spot people on when people are proning on Sanhok, so I just mollied where he went prone, and I think I hit him with it even, like actually landing on top of him.
Direct impact, we like that. Guys, the final fight then against Team Liquid, you were both on either side of a small hill. It looked like you maneuvered it as best you could. Do you think you could have done anything differently?
I mean, I think I made a mistake right there at the end. I think I called that one of Liquid had died earlier. I think we thought it was like a 3v4 maybe. We thought the guy on the far west side of the zone was a solo, and then we started hearing multiple steps, and after that we started calling, okay, maybe it's actually a 4v4. we had full zone control. I think they kind of approached it with the same zone control. They wanted east-west, they wanted the middle as well. So it was kind of like an even 4v4, I would say. I think we had better angles, we had the zone advantage as well. I think we played it really well. We probably could have won it with having less people knocked, but yeah, it's how it is. We still managed to close it out.
It is how it is. Rory, quick final question with you. Are you proud of the squad right now, leading the charge at the top of the table?
Yeah, I'm definitely proud. We've made a lot of improvements, especially with Dids coming in. We've been focusing on all the mistakes we've been making. Even though we're first, we're still making a lot of errors. So, yeah, we're doing really well right now.
First, but still room for improvement. Congratulations, TSM, on that chicken dinner. Let's head back to the desk.
That's right, TSM, great victory for them to be able to get themselves even further when it comes to that #1 spot. And on Sanhok, no less, which means Chicken Dinner World Tour, boys. I'm here with Froz and Avenger. So a win on every single battleground.
Yeah.
Great for TSM, still leading.
4th team to get into the Chicken Dinner World Tour, actually. And I mean, it's not like they really needed points.
No.
They're going to have a good cushion. They're charging towards 400 points now, and that's actually kind of early compared to some of our other phases. So
yeah.
Overall, our top 4 is extremely stacked when it comes in terms of points. They're already putting a big cushion in terms of making a distance down towards the 5th and the 6th spot.
So talking about the top 4 and stacking points, most of them are stacking up the chicken dinners as well. There's one team in particular that is not doing it right now, though, and that is Team Liquid. They still only got 1 win, and now we're actually halfway through PEL Phase 3.
Yeah.
This was the halfway mark, so half the games are done, and half of the games, and Liquid only got 1 win. That's kind of surprising, honestly.
It's pretty crazy. You were mentioning teams like FaZe already have 8 wins under the belt here for Phase 3. So it's very, very different a tale of the tape here for the teams coming into a halfway point here in Phase 3. Let's take a look at some of the highlights as well, boys. And a Sanhok game, we were trying to predict where the circles were. We were completely wrong, but that was fine. I mean, for the first circle, of course.
You were completely wrong.
Yeah, it's fine. I just put my finger on the map and just go, guys, I mean, you need to give me like 10 gold if I get it right here, but it's not to be.
So right now, I just calculated a little bit quickly.
Yeah.
The top 4 teams has 19 chicken dinners in total, out of 48. And Liquid is one of those teams, and they got 1 of them.
Sure it's not more? The top 4?
No.
21?
Oh, go on, shout at him. Go on,
Is there more?
debate.
I think it's 21.
Did you do your maths wrong on stream, Froz?
It's
Frost?
21.
It's
21.
21.
It's 21.
He's useless.
Oh, I can't count to 21. Oh, no.
No, but
You were
21,
close.
21 is obviously nearly half of
Yeah.
our 48 games so far.
Yeah.
The reason why it's 21 is because Ratio Edge has 5, Reciprocity has 4, and there's a lot of our mid-pack teams that they're stacking the chicken dinners, but their other performances, like when they have a bad game, they have a really bad game. They're not getting the top 4, top 5, top 6 with kills, as we see Liquid do again and again and again. And Liquid is in the top 4 because they're so damn consistent.
And here they are in the top 1 here with 19 points. Team Liquid on 2nd place with 15 points. We saw Team Liquid in the compounder for a long time, and they did pretty well, I'd say, carrying that much of points.
Yeah.
CrowCrowd's a name that keeps cropping on up as the murder of crows continues here with 11 points.
With the Bloodhound.
With the Bloodhound himself, Mr. Misa. So it's actually nice to see. I really like that. It's not only the team being able to do well continuously, but as an organization, you know, they've switched around rosters and things like that, which is good. But the switch in the rosters shows an extreme commitment here to try and push themselves even further when it comes to the PEL.
I mean, we heard, who was it? Was it Braexco who said they didn't want to do 1 player roster change. They wanted to do 2 to make sure that they get some fresh blood into the team, some fresh thoughts, not going into the old habits. Because when you're only switching out 1, that guy might have a voice,
He's
but
just going to fit in.
Exactly, he's going to fit in more into the
You
team.
navigate back to old tendencies.
Exactly, getting 2 players, you can change things up a little bit easier, and that's what they've been doing, along with some other teams as well.
Big names up at the top there, and the Bloodhound in 3rd place here with Misa being able to make his presence felt once again.
Spider-Man.
Monkey, 2nd time. Oh yeah, James, Mr. Spider-Man himself. Yeah.
1st place.
Yeah. I really enjoyed watching you trying to corral the Team Liquid boys to make the video at the beginning of the day. They were like, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do the poses. I'm like, well, you're going to have to do something.
What? It took them, what, 5 seconds to tell them, all right, let's do it. They're like, okay, we'll do it.
Yeah.
You tried to bribe them as well, didn't work. But
I don't bribe people.
It's good content. You go watch it on Frost's Twitter. I like that.
Yeah.
You really made an effort. You're like, I have to borrow your phone. You're like, what? Why?
Who's going to make a good tweet, you know?
It's good. We're going the extra mile here to provide good content from behind the scenes here at PL.
Is that your ringtone? Because obviously you're called Avenger, or you like to.
No, he has Avengers Assemble.
Oh, hi.
Well, I'm like, every time it comes out, I'm like, what is it? Am I being summoned? What's is this my turn to shine?
Are you the Nick Fury?
No. Clearly not.
Didn't I already ask you guys at one point which Avenger you would be? I think.
I don't think you asked that.
No?
I think you might have done that off camera. I think you might have, but we probably answered something stupid.
Yeah. I always
you would definitely be the Hulk. Look at you.
I'll be the what?
He's wearing a green shirt.
I'll be the what? What did you say?
He said the Hulk.
The Hulk. Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Or Thor from the previous film.
Yeah, both Wade, yeah, from the last one, yeah.
So look at it. I would be what? Captain America, and you would be
Black Widow, clearly.
Black Widow?
Yeah.
Oh, lots of purple there.
That's right, Black Widow. Make sure to use the hashtag AskPEL. Which Avenger would you be? Or you can even ask us about it later on. I'm not really sure where this is going. We are going to go to a break and hear from some of our players here at the PEL before we get on to Erangel in just a few moments' time.